While it's true that many in our group had grown up in Los Angeles feeling like the Oscars were in our own backyard, I can promise you that that moment when our names were called and we mounted the stairs, it felt as strange and fantastical and far away as if we were launching to the moon. And space travel requires risk. And as I look back upon our journey, I can't help but recall the multiple risks we all took to promote menstrual equity in the service of that mission. So we're going to add another word to our handy-dandy blackboard. We have risk. Okay, truth and risk. So I want to share 3 of those risks with you. The primary risk we took was personal. Each of us had to be ready to go public with a topic that is intimate. The students say loud and proud, and in most places around the world, including the United States, taboo. In the week before that Oscar ceremony that you saw, there was an opportunity in the Hollywood Reporter for Academy members to post anonymous letters of their predictions or what they were voting for. And so an unnamed, but apparently I have heard, very experienced director of the director's branch said, none of my male director friends are ever going to vote for a movie about periods because that is just too icky. So that was in the Hollywood Reporter. And my brave students sort of led the way, and they helped me be more comfortable with it. And if I'm being perfectly honest, I have to say that I had to overcome my own sort of embarrassment about posting constantly on social media, talking about the P word, periods, all the time. And when my daughter, when she was in high school, so this was also about 5 years ago, and she said, you know, I'm going to go in front of the school because I want to talk about the work of the PAD project, and I'm going to explain it in an all-school assembly. I said, no, you cannot. Please don't do that, because I was worried that she might be the target of mockery. Luckily for me, like most teenage daughters, she ignored me entirely. She didn't care what I had to say, and she decided she was going to go for it anyway. And that doesn't mean she wasn't nervous, but she recounts this experience very well. And on the morning that she went to go give this speech, and she gave it, and there was a really awkward silence that followed. And then the most popular guy in her grade, this is Southern California, so a kind of surfer guy, turns to his best friend and he says, dude, did she just talk about her period in front of the whole school? That's so cool. So luckily it worked out.
But just looking at the news and what's happening with women's agency over their own body right now, I think that menstrual rights are right up there with reproductive rights, and both of when a woman's agency over her own body is threatened, you can just see in a very scary, real way how far we need to go. This same world that says that periods make women dirty is the same world that says that a woman can't have control over her body. And
so I'm just curious what you would say to us in the audience that are trying to bring awareness, talk about it. How would you do that in your community?
Well, first of all, brava, because you already are, and you just did a drive, so that is wonderful. And I think once one person just talks about it in conversation, other people do start talking about it. I've noticed first period stories are generally a pretty common place that people can bond over and talk about, but I think whatever your chosen mode of communication is. I mean, film has worked for the PAD project, but certainly writing and journaling and storytelling, but also just not being afraid to talk about it